Welcome back, friends. We're picking up right where we left off. Jose and Alex have just about got this back ADU wrapped up. The drywall's coming in nice, and the exterior's painted, the roof's on, the gutters are up, insulation inspections passed. We're hanging drywall right now. Job site is crawling with subcontractors today. Again, that's the way we like it. That's how we stay on schedule. We're 59 days in. Hopefully we're gonna be painting the interior next week and starting on finish work. We're on schedule to make our 90-day deadline. This never happens. Something is bound to go wrong. I probably shouldn't say that. Something we're still waiting on back here is our connection from the power company. So we have our 200 amp all-in-one meter base out here, but you can see up at the hood, we're not connected. I had to get an easement for the overhead power line, and it's taken longer than it should have. So these units are gonna be just about done before we have power. On the back side of the back unit, we have the same issue going on. Here's our meter base, ready to receive a meter and power. Our hood is all pre-connected up here, but it's not tied in to the power line yet. So build failure into your plan, especially when you're dealing with utility companies. Over here on the side, the connection of the gas and water lines for our exterior mounted on-demand hot water heaters. The plumber had to run over and grab a couple of pieces of iron pipe to finish the connection here, but you can see that it will all be hidden by this nice white box. I'll talk more about this when everything is completed over here and the gas line is in, but it's really nice to have all of our mechanical components on the back side of the house where they're kind of out of sight. These covered front porches we use, there's two options for the lid. You can do a board and batten wood product, or a lot of people use a green board waxed water resistant drywall, and I just have never really trusted that material outside. Here's a cool little feature that we put in all of our covered porches when we have room. So we have a pull down attic access storage space. As opposed to having this covered porch and just a bunch of dead space up in the attic, we put in a foldable attic access ladder here, and we can come up inside, and there's good standing room. There's a window for ventilation and for lighting. Just a great little storage space here. Almost 150 square feet of storage space. That way we don't waste any of our space. Our tenants have room to put their seasonal gear or some of their outdoor equipment. You can even put a kayak up there. Pretty cool storage spot. Consider that when you're designing your ADU. If you don't have a drywall contractor, I always recommend getting 3 bids, introducing yourself to 3 different contractors, and hiring who you like. Being that this is a relationship business, it's not all about the price. It's about having a good relationship, who's gonna give you good service, who's gonna return your phone calls. Check the resources and references. Ask if you've used these guys before. Were they proficient? Were they affordable? Did they do what they say they were gonna do? And Dave and the boys at Drywall, etc., are all of that plus some. It's like magic is happening in here. All these walls are done, the ceiling's done, they're just finishing up the bathroom. This is where it slows down a little bit. Now that the drywall is hung, we have the floor taped off and papered, we're just waiting on the finishing crew. And drywall finishing is one of the more tedious, slower steps. It takes anywhere from 7 to 12 days, depending on how motivated the crew is, because there's so many different layers of topping and taping compound that not only have to be put onto the wall, they also have to dry and be sanded before the next process starts. So you can only do this so fast. It's a hard step to speed up, but also a good time to catch your breath. Things that I'm always looking for in my drywall is nice, tight seams. So we want to go factory edge to factory edge. We want a good nailing or screwing pattern. We want to make sure all of those are recessed so the putty knife doesn't hang up. Another sign of a really quality drywall hanging job is the paper on the outside of the wall panels isn't torn anywhere. They used a nice sharp razor blade and made good clean cuts. Here's a good detail of the drywall being held back from the flange of the tub shower surround. You can put a screen, and then we'll use a hot mix mud. That way we don't have a flare out in the drywall where it goes over that lap. To save time and money, we're going with a 3-way drywall wrap. So we'll have a nice sharp metal corner on the sides and top of this window, and then we'll do a wooden sill and apron. It saves us hundreds of linear feet of jam stop and case leg trim by doing a 3-way drywall wrap with the windows. It's about 1/4 of the price. To see the house transform, drywall is actually very affordable. A lot of the stuff you pay thousands of dollars for, you'll never see again. When the drywall crew is done, at least you can see what you're paying for. So I always love to walk into a house when it's clean, after the drywall is hung. Taping crew should be here tomorrow. So we're looking on schedule. We are, let's see, 27 days from our deadline of finishing this by the end of the month. So fingers crossed, if nothing goes wrong, we're gonna probably make it. As far as the pricing, you know, I'm trying to do both of these for $100 a square foot. That's gonna be close. I did some rough math this morning, and it's gonna be tight, to say the least. Up here in the front unit, we've got Tom, master drywall finisher. The first thing they're doing is going through and filling any big areas, any big joints that are non-factory edges, patching any areas where the tape may have torn. Mike's filling any large spots that need to be reinforced with hot mud. This stuff dries in 45 minutes and they can work right over the top of it. Areas that are chunked out that aren't gonna take tape as well, they fill in with this first coat. Trevor's coming out of the crawl space, putting our R38 in the floor. He's handing it down to Eli. Teamwork here. We mask off the edges of this big glulam beam. It's already pre-stained, but we don't want to get any texture on it, obviously, because it's exposed. Mike is taking a super sharp razor knife and he's trimming all of the non-factory edges to get any burrs off so the bazooka will run with no problems. This is an aluminum tube that's filled with mud and feeds the paper. If you haven't seen any of the other videos in the series, make sure to check them out. There's a link below for the playlist. We're doing a step-by-step, ground-up ADU build series with cost. Again, if you haven't seen them from the beginning, go start at 1 and watch all the way through. We have two choices when it comes to our drywall corner trim. You can use a radius bullnose rounded trim or a square 90-degree corner. I like these square pieces. It's a more contemporary look. They're stronger, they don't dent as easily, and that's what Jason is putting on the closet right now. He's attaching these with a 1/4-inch crown staple, and they'll get mudded in and covered up, and then we sand the very corner, so if you bump it with something, it doesn't chip the paint or the texture off. Guys are rocking out, so Tom went ahead with the bazooka, set the paper on this gable. Mike comes in behind with a 6-inch stainless steel putty knife, cleans everything up. Jason's over here tightening up the metal trim. Mike up in the vault running the bazooka like a champ. Tom coming in behind him, cleaning everything up. Gosh, drywall goes fast. These guys make it look easy. Of course, I could have spent 3 weeks to hang this place, another couple weeks to finish it myself, and it wouldn't have turned out nearly as nice and taken 5 times as long. Another reason we pay for drywall install and finish tape and texture. Other tricks of the trade, make yourself taller than you are. Nicky making himself taller with some 18-inch stilts, following Tom, who just came through with the bazooka, put tape on the lid, and he's gonna smooth it out behind him with this 8-inch knife. We like to build property management into our units. Things that we do in our design and in our build to lower the work and the callbacks that we're gonna need to put into these units over the years. Let's start with paint colors. We like to go with a light color with a brighter sheen. That's gonna make it last longer. We're gonna have to repaint it less. We all like a nice Craftsman deck or handrail, but we've gone to concrete patios. These are gonna last forever. They're absolutely maintenance free. The siding we use is a concrete product. It holds up really well. We can pressure wash it every couple of years to keep it looking really clean. One question I get often is, Derek, why would you paint your units so light? Don't they get dirty? Yeah, they get a little bit of dust and bug and spider web on them, but every couple of years we can pressure wash those down and we don't have to repaint them. The dark colors are the problems. Those are the ones that need repainted all the time. Usually we would use a metal roof, a standing seam metal roof that lasts a lifetime. We couldn't use metal on these because we're in a historic district and they wouldn't let us use metal. We had to use composition shingle. Another thing we do is we put all of our components, HVAC, our exterior mounted hot water heaters, we put our electrical panels, all that stuff on the back of the building where we can access it all from the outside without disturbing the tenants. Thanks for sticking around. Feel free to leave some comments or questions below. Like and subscribe if this brings you value, but more than anything, start planning your ADU today.